startled this week to see a public policy poll finding that Occupy Wall Street was losing support among the public. It's just one poll, and it may be an outlier. But assuming it's true and people are becoming less sympathetic to the movement, it probably behooves us to look at why that may be happening. First, when people see police deployed against the protests, outfitted in riot gear and looking as if they're about to invade Fallujah, they naturally get nervous. It's a visceral response. They assume that violence and mayhem are expected. When these deployments don't result in violence, the militaristic appearance of the cops on the street has already done the damage. But beyond that, and more importantly, millions of people have been hearing nonstop lurid propaganda about criminality and base primitive behavior among the occupiers from the right-wing press for the past 2 months. And it is very lurid, with detailed and unsubstantiated pornographic tales of public sex and primitive scatological behavior, the likes of which we may never have seen before in the American media. Fox News and talk radio have led the way with these stories, with Rupert Murdoch's New York Post providing much of the fodder. But the local news around the country has been on it as well. The point of this obscene characterization of the protesters serves a very specific purpose: dehumanization. And dehumanization is a way for people to psychologically prepare for violent action. That process is described by sociologist Susan Ostra this way, quote, "Psychologically, it is necessary to categorize one's enemy as subhuman in order to legitimize increased violence or justify the violation of basic human rights. In severe cases, dehumanization makes the violation of generally accepted norms of behavior regarding one's fellow man seem reasonable or even necessary," unquote. So far, with some glaring exceptions, the authorities have resisted using wholesale violence against the protesters. But the right-wing press is laying the groundwork for a major authoritarian crackdown by psychologically preparing millions of Americans to see it as reasonable and necessary. Dropping poll numbers are the canary in the coal mine.